Have you been in a situation where you were told because you're not of this gender, we can accept you, or you've made use of female activism to act of character? Hello, Veegilant. Welcome back to another episode on Veegilant podcast, where we discuss essence and societal issues that shapes our lives. I'm Alightum about today, your host, and today we're talking on a topic that strikes at the heart of justice and progress: gender inequality and female activism. Just like the ancient myth of the Amazon's fierce warrior women who defied norms and fought for their land and rights, women today continue to stand strong against societal inequalities. But what fuels this fight? Why does gender inequality persist, and how has female activism reshaped the landscape over time? Well, you're going to find out about that on today's episode. And as usual, as wonderful person with me in the studio, my co-host, my vibe queen, the energy goddess, Precious Momodu. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great. And you?
How is everything?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so Precious, last week, we talked about the philosophy of love and relationship with our own very guest, Olaito Adebayo, and she shared her opinion on what love meant to her. She was of the opinion that Nigerian men, we show you shaggy.
Panza.
Exactly. And she also talked about being an advocate for arranged marriage, since that promotes loyalty and they can both build something with time. However, this week we're talking about gender inequality and female activism. We know of feminists, we know of activism, which is not a today thing.
Yes, Olaiton. Gender inequality is not just a story of today. It's deeply rooted in history. Women have long been sidelined in leadership, education, and economic participation. Yet, from the suffragette movement in the early 90s to modern-day feminism, female activism has relentlessly challenged these disparities.
Absolutely, Precious. I actually agree with you. Now, when we're talking about this history, we're talking about Cleopatra ruling Egypt too. We're talking about Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. There was a movie that was produced recently. That movie actually gave me another perspective when it comes to activism and all this feminism thing. People talking about I'm a feminist and all of that. And then the real meaning of being a feminist activist. Women, they've always pushed boundaries. Why are we still here in 2024 still discussing these gaps? Is it because of cultural conditioning or a systemic barrier, or maybe it's both? What is really going on? Why are we still talking about it?
I actually think it's a little bit of both, actually. That's actually a very great question from you. Research shows that gender roles are often perpetuated by societal norms and institutional framework. For example, despite legal advances, women in Nigeria still face obstacles in accessing leadership roles.
That's too.
However, activism has been the beacon of hope. Remember the Bring Back Our Girls movement then?
Yeah, I think it was during the Chibok girls time. Yeah.
Yes, then. It brought global attention to Nigeria's crisis, led by brave women like Obi Ezekwesili.
Yeah, exactly. I also agree with that, because during that time, I was still in secondary school. During the Chibok girls thing and Bring Back Our Girls, it was just not in Nigeria. Even outside the country, there were protests about Bring Back Our Girls. Although most of the girls didn't come back at the time, but at least we saw a little bit of change. And like I just said, female activism is not just about protests. It's about changing narratives. Because during that time, at least people could see that, okay, women are not just to be in the kitchen and all that. They're also participating in things, protesting and making things work. Looking at this Funmilayo Ransome Kuti case, we saw what she did with the Obas then collecting tax from women. There was something she did. She actually pushed for change, in which she got, because she made sure she even chased these people in the palace out of the palace. That's to show you how powerful women can be. And also, activism also challenges resistance, lack of representation, and sometimes society backlash. For instance, in corporate Nigeria, only 27% of senior roles are held by women.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. You know this, I don't know if you know this saying where they say that where there is a successful man,
There's a woman is behind the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. All those men you see out there today, there's a woman doing the work. Oh.
Definitely, I
Yes.
agree with that. But men will tell you that behind a successful whatever is also a man that is working hard.
Well, there is hope from initiatives encouraging girls in STEM to women-led NGOs fighting for equal pay. The momentum is building, but activism doesn't stop with advocacy. It transforms policies, economies, and lives.
Yeah, that's true. But then, like every other day, we have with us wonderful people in the studio today. Yeah, and I'm so excited about this. Today, we have a political analyst, and most importantly, she's a woman. That's the most important thing that we need in the studio today. Precious, join me as we welcome at Tobiloba. Good afternoon, Olusegun Oluwatobiloba. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm well, and you?
I'm okay too. I'm good. The girl is
She's
good.
glowing.
This glow, is it from God or is it from man?
It's from God.
Oh, nice, as it should be. Anyways, well, when it comes to gender issue, we try not to be biased. Therefore, we have a male in the studio today. He's a journalist, but also worked at Lagos State Health Management Agency. This is actually a good one. Merging to work together and doing great in both fields is something that I really do appreciate. Now, Precious, do me the honors of welcoming Afiz Lawa to the show. Good afternoon, Afiz.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Pressure.
Good
I'm fine,
afternoon.
and you?
I'm okay too. Now, we're talking about gender inequality, and we know that when it comes to gender inequality, it simply means treating one gender unfairly from the other. And most times it's targeted at women. Women are mostly not seen holding important roles in the society. A certain president once said that the place of a woman is in the kitchen and also the other room. Women with skills and even good qualification, we know that most times when they even get to a place where they need a job, or probably it's a job offer and everything, regardless of their qualification and their skills, men still tell them they have to have their way with them before giving them the job or even promotion. Afiz, do you think men face gender inequality as much as women?
So, Nigerian as a case study. So, if you are working in a private or a public enterprise, so there are limitations to position in which they will want a woman to attain in the office. Because, but right now, things are changing because there are lots of complaints. Go to offices where LDAs, agencies, and this thing. So in the past, it's very difficult for you to see a lady to attain the level to be a head of service or permanent secretary in a government ministry or LDAs. But now things are changing. But it has not even changed to the extent in which we want. Because it's very difficult for you to in Nigeria. I don't think it has ever happened for we to have a female as governor. So the gender inequality is still the major setback we are facing in this country.
Yeah, okay. So that means you also support the stereotype men lead, but like you also said, women are already holding bigger role in the country. We have Justice Kekere Ekun, which was chosen as
in my office. Our permanent secretary, who is the accounting officer of the ministry, so everything we are doing in our agency, the box stop on his table. So she's a female. And she has been holding that position for like 4-5 years ago now, and she's still there. And she's doing very well. She's carrying everybody along.
That's good. I hope we can all get to the point where we understand that women are known to be managers, and when they are put in a position, bigger position, they can manage the place as much as possible.
In other words, having a female president in Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly. In other
She will
words,
be able to manage Nigeria well.
maybe at this point in time, we would not be as hungry as we are now.
So, yeah,
I don't know when that one will happen. So I don't know.
in the future, I can actually see it coming.
I would doubt maybe we can live to see that.
Oh,
Maybe next generation.
We would
you will definitely live to see it.
live to see
Who
it.
knows? I might probably be the next president of Nigeria. So, yeah.
To be a president is a lot of tasks, and you know how this country works. There are cabals everywhere.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it will be difficult. So the first thing is to first of all get a female governor. So from there, women can aspire to be president. But this country, to get as it is.
Search no more, you have me. She's first female governor, then from that, first female president of Nigeria. So yeah, this question is for both of you. Have you ever experienced unequal treatment caused of your gender, like Toby? Have you been in any situation whereby you probably maybe went for a job employment or anything, and when you got there, they were like, no, we don't want a woman, we want a man. Have you found yourself in such situation before?
So, like, just like the example you cited, there are some job descriptions that says male only.
Yeah.
But then you find out that women also have the same qualification or higher qualification
Than that.
than the men. But then the stereotype of we just want men.
Meant to be there, yeah.
It happens a lot. It happens everywhere.
To be sincere, there are also some roles where they will tell you it's only female that we need. And in that kind of situation, bet is with me, it's either a receptionist job or a sales marketing
Yes,
job.
exactly.
So what are they trying to say in that kind of situation whereof you're saying that it's only a woman that can do a marketing job because you know that she also has a way
Other
of
things to market.
Exactly. So now they will tell you it doesn't matter how you get your target. All we need is for you to meet your target. Yeah.
Yes, it happens.
So how about you, Mr. Hafiz?
Well, no, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But, like you said, sales and marketing, that's what I do. That's where I work presently.
Okay, you're a
It's very
marketer.
difficult, but ladies, I'm a marketer. I'm a marketer.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I do other things also, but my role, I had a unit for sales and marketing, so I have my targets on quarter basis. I have numbers to pursue. The job of sales and marketing, so the key performance indices is very, very important. So for ladies, they have more chances than women in terms of marketing. So like you said, the company does not even want to know how you meet your target. You just have to do or you use what you have to get what you want. So ladies have those chances. Yeah, they have those chances. Even some people, when you market to them, they might not even want to buy what you are marketing. But with you as a lady being the one telling them so this is why they want to show interest, they might definitely buy and they might even refer people to you. So in terms of jobs of sales and marketing, so you will always see that female they do better than men. So they get clients, they get more referrals and this. So in terms of job opportunity, like you said also, that in some organizations they may say that they don't want a female and they might use male. But let me tell you, in Nigeria today, female has the percentage of getting jobs than male. So in many organizations, before you get there, maybe 10 people submit their CVs and this, and they have 5 vacant positions. They might even pick 4 female before considering just one. So that's my submission as regards that.
Thank you very much. But then with the look of things, it's looking like women are mostly needed when it comes to jobs offered that are not so tempting. But when it comes to being the director of an organization, when it comes to being or the manager, it is mostly for men. But women can handle the sales, marketing. They can handle. Why? To me, that's disrespectful of the highest order.
Cheating.
Why can't we also manage bigger positions?
Well, we see the woman managing big position, so I won't concur with you on that. There are many females of Nigeria who are directors, permanent secretary of services in different states and even in the federation. The idea has changed. It was not like before. So the female now they are getting things right. So they just need to do more and support one another.
Now, but then let's talk about the common misconception we have when it comes to gender equality and gender inequality. So starting with your Hafiz, what are the misconceptions that we have when it comes to gender equality?
For the misconception on gender equality in Nigeria, it's reducing, like I said earlier, so we can't compare it to how it was maybe in the 90s or 2000s and this thing. So there are many things that's happening which is very, very wrong, very, very wrong, very, very wrong. I see no reason why a woman cannot be a head of state, cannot be governor, like I said earlier, everything. But maybe because of our culture in Nigeria, so we believe that women, they are only useful in the house. Like you said earlier, that the former president said that. But there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things happening. Things are changing gradually, and I hope in future we will see ladies holding top government positions. They can be governors. They can be. Now we have female in the Senate. We have female in the House of Representatives. We have a female minister. So we have female in House of Assembly. We have females as commissioners in state also. So they are doing well, but they can do better. They can do better. So that's my submission.
All right. When it comes to the misconception, I would say that some of the misconception that we have is that men are supposed to be the breadwinner and women are supposed to be the caregivers. But then outside the country, I think there was a time.
Also in Nigeria.
Yeah, but there was a time I was listening to a podcast too, and then the lady was like, when she was in Nigeria, obviously, she was of the intention that yes, men takes care of everything. But then when they moved outside the country, she realized that it has to be 50-50 because of the tax, because of the other things that you would pay. You then realize that the man should not shoulder everything at that point in time. So I feel like in Nigeria, there's stereotype. Men are the breadwinner and women are just supposed to take care of the house and manage
submit
everything.
to the man. Like
Yeah.
you need to be under the man.
There's also this disadvantage when it comes to men in organization, giving women more fair advantage when it comes to work and all of that. So because she's a woman, they feel like, oh, she shouldn't do most of the work. I think when I was in camp, I spoke to one of the military officers, and there is one particular military officer that I like. She's so agile. She's always ready to be there, always with the vibe. And then, I had to ask one of the male officers, like, okay, I saw this woman and I feel like I'm interested in being a soldier, which I don't think I do have right now. And then, when it even comes to the military, that women are usually not so stressed, but there are some women that actually does all the strenuous trainings and all of that, but it doesn't really matter. They don't really make it compulsory for women to do all those trainings and as much as men. So when it comes to work and all of that, women are given more advantage. So, Toby, when it comes to misconceptions, what other misconceptions do you think we have?
So for me, I think one of the misconception about gender equality, some people think it's no longer an issue in developed countries.
Yeah.
But then that's not the reality. Although progress has been made, but we still have cases of gender disparities in many areas. And again, people feel like it's a personal issue, not a societal one. It's a systemic issue that requires collective actions to address, not just personal. It has to do with the society. Everyone is involved. And then I think one other thing for me would be that it only affects women. But
Yeah.
Gender inequality does not only affect women. It affects both male and
the
female.
female,
So it's not just based on women.
I think the international thing that you talked about made me remember the US election that just happened recently. I think during the time Trump and Putin, when they contested together, Trump didn't win the election. But now that it has to do with a woman, although we know that there are some things that he said, talking about their manifestos, talking about the ideology of the parties, it's quite different. But then people begin to wonder, why is it that it was when Trump contested with a woman that he won the election? So I think people started feeling like, oh, it is because of the manly thing and all of that again.
Someone even said that probably if Trump had another opponent, probably like Michelle Obama,
those that already made impact when it comes to politics.
That one, maybe it should have been more competitive.
Yeah,
but then your campaign matters a lot. What you campaign with, your strategies.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about, the ideology too.
Yes, I think that was what gave Trump an edge. His strategies and his campaign just gave him the way.
Yeah, maybe, maybe not.
And then another thing, people believe that men don't experience gender-based violence.
Yeah, that's one big thing.
Abuse
There's also this issue of men don't get raped, but in the actual sense, men do get raped.
But they are so ashamed to come out and say
to
she
talk
raped
about
me.
it. Yeah.
So in your opinion, how far do you think Nigeria have come in achieving gender equality? Not just Nigeria, let's even say all over the world. How far has the world, like globally, how far have we come in achieving gender equality, Afiz?
Yeah. I think globally, the gender equality is gradually being balanced. Because we have many female presidents across the world. In Croatia, they have a female as their president. So in many other countries also, we have women who are holding the head of parliament and this thing. So it's getting better. It's getting better. But the syndrome is still there. So for example, you just mentioned about the last American elections and this.
Yeah.
So to be president in America, you see, for a female, I think it's a very, very difficult task. It's very difficult. It's very difficult for a woman to be president in America because looking at their population and looking at the history on this thing. So I know even the party that lost to Trump this time around, they will not even want to do it in the next election again. They won't want to feel a lady because there are some countries, even for example here in Nigeria, it will be difficult to see a female president. But I hope it happens one day. So, but it's happening in some part of the world. It's happening in some part of the world. But there are a lot of limitations in this our country. People will tell you this is what a lady can do, in which it is not supposed to. We are all the same. Thank you.
So, B, what's your opinion about it?
So for me, there has been changes such as legal protection, increased education for girls. But like Mr. Hafiz said, it's still an ongoing challenge
yeah.
and it's still going to take a while to overcome it or to conquer it. So that's just my opinion.
About it.
I will definitely change the narrative in Nigeria.
Okay, so that means you're contesting for, let's start with your local government election first.
I'm actually aiming wide.
You know, there's a situation that happened in Edo recently during the election whereby they said that Olumide Akpata, that's the LP party candidate, they said, he's been living in Lagos for the longest time, and then when he wanted to contest for the gubernatorial election, he added an Edo name to his name. They even sure he's from Edo and all of that. So I hope at that time it will not be the same story for you.
No, it won't actually. It won't.
Okay.
But I will aim high. Governorship.
Oh, you are not even starting with the local government. All right, that's a good one. I'm looking forward.
Are you contesting from?
She is contesting for the same Edo state.
Down the road.
Don't worry.
Which one do you want me to contest? Which one do you want me to go for your state?
Okay, they said Edo no be Lagos. It's a belief that people in Lagos, all of them are not from Lagos State. But as far as you are living in Lagos, you are from Lagos State. But Edo, you have to be from Edo State. They must have known you for a while. Know your everything about you at least to an extent.
I will contest. Come 2027. Come 2027.
What's even
Lagos State.
What's your Edo name? What's your native name?
Akazime Yele.
Oh, okay. At least you have one. At least you. Okay, so we know that when it comes to media, social media, and all of that, social media plays a major role in everything generally. Now, what role do media and storytelling play in raising awareness about gender equality?
Okay, I would say that the media has been trying so far, but there are ways that they can still portray gender equality. You gave an example of the movie Ramsom Kuti. It's an avenue for people to learn. Because for you to inspire people to do something, you need to tell them what to do. At least that's an example. They see how she started.
Yeah, sure.
And how everything went and how she overcame. So it can actually inspire them and say, if this person can do
this, I can't
do it. And then through literatures and journalism, media guys are journalists. They should portray it and give people safe spaces to talk about it. And then there should be policies as regards it that would advocate more people going into it and all of that.
Yeah, I think I also agree with you. We have the ABBA women too who did this protesting and activism thing. And also presently in our age, we have Aisha Yusuf. And she's been doing great when it comes to activism and all of that. And even aside that, we have women, say celebrities, that that are just like doing it low key. They are not like Aisha Yusufu, yes, but then at least they're still trying to show you women power, women are strong and all of that. Let's take, for example, Vicky James. She's a kind of person that, okay, we know how she started. She even said a story of how one of our lecturer was going to fail her if she didn't sleep with him and all of that. And then, she showed us how much of strength and hard work she put into something before she became great. It doesn't have to always be about protest. It also has to be about advocacy and also telling people that think you're mediocre. Don't think you can't be like this person because you're not a man. Definitely you can do more and better for yourself.
And then another thing, I think it stems from the family too.
Yeah.
The way you treat your female child would have an impact on her when she enters the society.
Yeah, that's true. Because I've heard of a boy telling his mom wasn't feeling fine. He has an elder sister. And then, the mom was telling him that he should go cook for them. And the first thing he was going to say is, cooking is for the women, not for men. And that is because even the father once said it when he had issue with his mom, that since he got married, before he got married, he already said that the moment he gets married, he's not going to wash clothes for himself again, and he's not going to cook in the house again. So no matter
that kind of family,
exactly, so
treat
the female child,
yeah.
And so the boy already grew to understand that, well, when it comes to all of these things, I shouldn't participate in the family, and that is what the guy will also grow up to become.
Sure.
Yeah, citing the Funmilayo Ransom Kuti movie.
Yeah.
When I watched it, her father was the one that literally pushed
her, yes. Because I think there was a scene where she said, the father was teaching her how to ride bike, and she said, daddy, I'm going to fall. And the father said, so what is wrong when you fall?
Oh, yeah.
When you fall, the most important thing is stand up, pick yourself up again. I think that is one thing that has taught her that even if I am failing, if I do not stop trying, at some point I will definitely succeed. And even when it was looking like the women were not ready to do this thing with her, when it was looking like the men were already taking charge of the whole thing, she still kept pushing. She's privileged. She didn't need it. So even the people they were fighting for at some point were like, they can't do it anymore. That is already looking like the more they are trying to protest, the more those people are attacking them, but they don't want to do it. But she still took up the initiative, like, okay, let's do this. If we don't do it, it won't stop and all of that. So I think I also agree with you that this stems from how you were brought up. It stems from the family too, and your perspective about who women are. And I think we should get to a point now that we shouldn't expect only the society to teach the child. The parents too should also teach the child, like, okay, as a female, nobody should tell you can't talk where men are talking. You have the right to also say something.
Everybody in this society is from family.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with you.
How can we inspire and involve young people in the fight for gender equality, Afiz?
I think in the fight for gender equality, how we can inspire our youth is there must be a proper orientation. So regular one. So across the country, so it's not limited to Lagos or Edo alone. Even in the north, because even there are so many youth in the north who don't even understand all these kind of things they are saying. Because, for example, you see some ladies, this is 9 years old, 30 years old, is already in his husband's house. So how do you want to preach gender equality to that kind of people? So I think I think we have now, it didn't know or what, or national orientation, there's an agency in the federal government that's what they are to do, their mandate is to make sure that people are well oriented about programs on how the governance and all other things are working in the country. So it should not be limited to the government alone. So organizations like maybe a foundation or NGO also. So they should do proper orientations. It may be on advertisement also.
Okay.
Should be part of it. Maybe roll out stations, newspaper, online or on radio. So that they educate our people. Because most of the people who are in Nigeria, they don't even know their right. It's not limited to the female alone, even the male. Somebody don't know if he has the right to choose any association he or she wants to belong. So there are many things that we are lacking in this country that it's not even limited to female alone, even as a male. So there should be a proper orientation. I think that's what I will say as regards what we can use to tackle the gender inequality for the youth.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Toby, I'd like to ask this question. So, there was a situation that happened sometimes back after they changed the national anthem. During the time they changed the national anthem, this inflation thing has started. And as at that time, people were hungry, people were hungry. Yes. So there was this conference that they went for, and Aisha Yusufu didn't stand up when they were singing the national anthem. And it got to a point where people were blaming her for not standing up. People were saying all sorts about her that, oh, you call yourself an activist, and then they were singing the national anthem, you didn't stand up, and all of that. Now, so we've seen a situation whereby women get backlashed for even being an activist, for wanting a change. How can communities and organizations now help in order to support women like that? Now, we are very sure we have organizations and communities that are in charge of activism and all of that. But then how can these organizations help women like that? How can they support them?
Okay, so dialogue, engage in open conversation. Like you said, a conference. You can organize conferences to educate people, not just females only.
Yeah.
Both male and female, engage them, tell them about gender norms and equality at home and in school. Like Mr. Afi said, he said educating people. Yeah. If gender equality topics can be included in school curriculum from tender age, let them start addressing issues like that from tender age. And engagement, social media is a very good platform for everybody to be involved in the advocacy thing and campaign.
Yeah.
So that's just it for me.
All right. And I think another thing that we said during the discussion is also from the parent. So parents also teaching their child, this is how it is outside, but this is how it's supposed to be. I feel like a lot of parents needs to enlighten themselves, and that is why I'm not in support of anyone just like saying, oh, I want to start a family without taking a proper check of yourself and the things that you've learned so far, and also checkmating, okay, these things that I've grown up to see and the things that I feel should be the right thing, weighing the balance. Is it really right to do this? Is this the right way to do it? And as a result, when you have a child, because you already know the right thing, you at least know what to tell your child. Okay, probably you grow up with the perception, or your parent taught you that when people are talking, when men are talking, you don't talk. And then you grow up to an extent, and then you felt like, no, women needs to be heard. Women needs to talk too. So you already balanced that, okay, what I was taught while growing up is wrong. This is the right thing. You already balance it. You already know what is right. You already know what is wrong. Then you can bring in a child now and tell the child, okay, this is what they do in the society, but this is the right thing to do. While we were growing up, there are situations of, when an elderly person is in the room and they're talking, you can't talk. Either you're a male or a female, you can't talk. And as a result, we are growing up with the situation of, even when you're in a room of people older than you and you are their boss, it will get to a point where you feel like, can I say the low self-esteem? Because you were brought up to understand that. My belief is that before getting married now, at this point, know what is right, know your own belief, because that is what you're going to train your child with. And where I can only believe that and hope that things can get better. But then, as we also wrap up, I would like everybody to know, both men and female, that remember that every voice matters. You're a man or you're a woman, your voice matters. Whether you're an activist, an ally, or simply learning about gender equality, you have a role to play. And like I said, it's not just for the women alone. Together, we can build a world where everyone, no matter their gender, has the chance to succeed. We can get to a point whereby a woman can be put in a bigger and best position. We can get to a point whereby Precious will contest for a gubernatorial election, and she would win the election. We can at least get to that point. Thank our guest for today's episode, Mr. Afis. Thank you for joining us on the show. We really appreciate your input and your enlightenment on the topic.
It's nice to be here. Thank you, Ma.
All right. Thank
So
you.
I'll be glad to come again.
We'll definitely be pleased to have you again. All right. And to Toby Loba, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And then to my ever supportive Precious Momodu of the Daily Momodu family.
Wow.
Thank you for joining me on the show this afternoon.
Yeah, actually, it's a pleasure to be
To be
here.
here.
Yeah, I
I know,
enjoyed
right?
it very well.
All right, and let's say a big thank you to another producer in view because we have a new producer in view today at Olaito.
Olaito.
Thank you for helping with us, for helping in the studio today. All right, and until the next, do have a wonderful weekend.